What's up? So, Romney versus Obama. Well, there's a big problem with stating it like that, and that's because when you state it Romney versus Obama, it's kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. Now, if you don't know what that means, it means basically that you think everything is about us versus them, Democrats versus Republicans. But in all reality, it's actually a dichotomy between two concepts. That is the state and not having the state. And where that really leads you to is that there's liberty and tyranny. In other words, intervention into your life by people who call themselves government and telling you what to do and what to buy and how your money is to be spent through the threats of force, or people just letting you live on your own and being free. And it's been really scary, especially this election season, because you have two people, Obama and Romney, who anybody who does a very, very basic search on them would see that they're pretty much on par with each other when it comes to everything. I mean, supporting bailouts, supporting grand schemes for nationalizing healthcare. Of course, Romney's was with his state. Supporting bans on guns, supporting big bailouts of any sort that you can imagine, TARP bailout and things like that. And you just start to realize, I mean, especially more than ever, if you haven't already picked it up, the people who are running for president are completely controlled by very, very big interests that are much bigger than, what's shown on mainstream media TV. And so if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, is it Obama or Romney? You really got to think to yourself, what is it that really underpins my beliefs? It shouldn't just be whether or not you think someone's a lesser of two evils. You have to think about whether someone taking money from somebody else through the threats of force, in other words, in this case the IRS, saying you're going to give us money or we're going to throw you in jail because of civil contempt, whether that is morally right, whether you're comfortable, saying that that's okay through your vote. And especially more than ever, whether your money is taken and used to make bombs to go off in all sorts of Middle Eastern countries where people are getting slaughtered at the whims of what are now just basically robots being run by people over here with drones. Really, Obama's just been a continuation of Bush as far as that's concerned, with just literally spending us into trillions of dollars of debt for managing these wars that are just for profit. I mean, it's really disgusting. And so if you're still stuck in that left-right paradigm where it's like, oh, I'm a Republican or oh, I'm a Democrat, you got to take your mind out of that, because that's not what it's about. It's really about liberty versus tyranny. And, I'm not saying that you should vote at all. I mean, I think voting is itself kind of an immoral system, and here's a simple solution why. If you want to hear why, I'll do it with a little Socratic method. How many people does it take in a small group to force an unwilling participant to its scheme? So think of it this way. If 10 people were on an island together, how many of those could, through voting, force maybe one or two to its scheme? And when you realize that, you just realize that voting is nothing more than mob violence. It's, a majority imposing its will on a minority, and then through, monies paid, enforcing violence against people for things that are virtually victimless. I think a lot of people would agree, of course, that theft might be wrong, or murder, or rape. And I think that goes across many cultures. There's been many studies actually that show that across all cultures and religions, or if you're a-religious, there's a pretty strong confidence level, like a 95% confidence level in statistics, that people agree on general moral harms. And that's easy and obvious. But when people are telling you how you should live, how you should spend your money, how you should manage your property, how tall your grass is, I think it should start to, send some signals that there is something really wrong with this system. So I just hope that anybody who's watching this, check out Mises.org, check out, things like Foundation for a Free Society, check out the Advocates for Self-Government, do your own research. Don't just believe what people are telling you that it's one or the other, because the system is already rigged. You don't have to worry about your vote being wasted or not voting being wasted, because the system itself is rigged as far as, the big federal control is concerned. So I just hope that y'all think outside of this left-right paradigm of, it's Democrats or Republicans. Stop being afraid, like, oh my gosh, that's liberal, or oh my gosh, that's conservative. It's meant to throw your mind outside of critical thinking. And you can't be afraid. People who are afraid and who get like, "Ooh, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about politics." I'm like, this is the real world. Your life, your money, everything is decided based on what other people are doing. You know, they're making decisions regardless of your input, whether someone is going to come in a uniform and exercise violence against you or your property, or threaten you if you don't pay them. So this is a very important time in our lives to really get involved and wake up others to what's being done because of what government is and how government is sold. So check those websites out, and I will talk to y'all soon after the election. And my 2 cents is that I think Obama is probably going to be the same puppet that it was before. You know, they're all puppets. They're all run by much bigger interests and bigger powers than what we see. But I'm guessing that Obama's going to continue that. And actually, I would personally prefer that he stays in control. Why? Because then Mitt Romney, who is puppeteering this whole "I'm, you know, for the market and I'm for free market" stuff, which is totally, you know, a bunch of bull, because obviously he supports regulations and bailouts. If he gets in, then that deflates all the conservatives becoming more libertarian to, you know, voluntarist anarchist. And that's really going to hurt the overall image of course, free markets and liberty, because he's going to be the face of it and spouting out all these lies and manipulations and distortions. Whereas Obama, it's the same old, same old. Between 8 years of Bush and 8 years of Obama, who can't wake up? I mean, really, it's got to be that obvious at this point. So that's my 2 cents, and I will talk to y'all later.